Ice Ice Baby. What do you think of when I say those words? Some people think of a song. Some people think of frozen water. I think of the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency because I'm a true patriot. What I especially think of is when ICE upholds their duty by murdering our American citizens. No, wait, I have that back. No, they're supposed to stop people from doing that, I thought. Okay, well, anyway, they're murdering our American citizens, so I guess they got it backwards. But let's take a look at what's happening here. This is in Minneapolis. We have video footage of an ICE officer confronting... Actually, do we have... There was a video of, like, the woman who was with the woman who got shot, like, taunting the police. I want to make sure that I get the full scope of this, because otherwise people are going to be saying, like, context? Here, let me check... Let's try this one.
Officers in. Bystanders are blowing whistles and yelling at federal agents.
Go home to Texas!
Then, federal vehicles start moving toward the maroon SUV, with sirens and lights blaring. A federal agent films the scene on his phone.
Okay.
The driver rolls forward slightly, turning left, then stops and waves for others to go ahead. Two agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle. Moments later, shots are fired. Let's look at the scene again more closely.
Okay.
This is the agent who shoots the driver.
So why are they stopping
He walks around
her?
the car filming and disappears from view. Other agents pull up and order...
I mean, surely if it's worth shooting her over, she must have done something heinous. What was it? Why are they stopping her? Like, or suspected her of doing something heinous. I have a D&D game soon, so take my engagement before I have to leave. Thank you.
Order the driver to exit her vehicle. One of them grabs at the door handle and reaches inside. The SUV reverses, then turns right, apparently attempting to leave. At the same time, the agent filming...
Get away from the fucking car! Get away from it!
...crosses toward the left of the vehicle
Dumbass.
and grabs his gun. He opens fire on the motorist.
She was clearly avoiding you, dog. If she was trying to hit you, she would have.
And continues shooting as she drives past.
Fucking coward
The moment
pussy.
the agent fires, he is standing here, to the left of the SUV, and the wheels are pointing to the right, away from the agent.
Also, can we just talk about how dangerous that is in general? Like, put aside, like, let's just pretend that she deserved it or whatever. Let's feed into that delusion, right? So, what if he had missed? You know, like, it's not like it's easy to shoot a gun, especially with one hand, which he's doing, I believe. Yeah, he's shooting with one hand, okay? Which is crazy to do, all right? So, it's not like it's super easy or accurate to do that. What if he had missed? He could have shot some toddler just standing by or in a different car.
Standing here, to the left of the SUV, and the wheels are pointing to the right, away from the agent. This appears to conflict with allegations that the SUV was ramming or about to ram the officer. President Trump and others said the federal agent was hit by the SUV, often pointing to another video filmed from a different angle. And it's true that at this moment in this grainy low-resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV. But when we synchronize it with the first clip, we can see the agent is not being run over. In fact, his...
Again, like, if she were trying to run him over, she would have succeeded. She wasn't trying to. I don't even buy that he thinks she was trying to. He just... Maybe he did. But if he did, he's a pussy. My first thought when somebody, like, starts up their car and I'm standing in front of it and then they start driving is to get out of the way. If they really want to hit me that bad, they probably will. Magnificent AI? What, the grainy footage? I don't think the grainy footage was AI. Is there anything... Because I thought there was like a confrontation that took place between... Like a verbal confrontation between a girl and the ICE agent. Was there not? Like the girl gets in the car. Was it the girl's mom who got shot? Let me see if I can find it. I think this might be it. Wait, is this a different one? Okay, wait, I gotta make sure. Okay, yeah, this is the footage I was looking for. I don't think it shows anything.
That's fine. That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at It's okay, we don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the
Oh shit, I forgot I have to change my plates.
same plate when you
That's a horrific way to get a reminder and a horrific time to say that. But like, the thought was there and it had to come
talk
out,
to
sorry.
us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the
All right,
car.
take it back.
Yeah, so I think that's enough context, right? So there was a confrontation with ICE. I have no idea what ICE was getting on them for. I guess they had some kind of something on her. I don't know. Minneapolis mother fatally shot by ICE agent sparks nationwide protests. Neighbors just released a new angle of the ICE shooting, and it settles any debate on what actually happened. Rest in peace, Renee Good. Donald Trump is unfit for office. This is her. This is Renee Good. I don't want to say funny. Ironic, I guess, that ICE shoots a white woman who is a U.S. citizen and named Good. Like they shot Good and killed her, which is, you know, I'm not trying to read anything weird into it, but it is kind of gross irony. They were backing out of their driveway, I hear. He was mad at her wife for calling him fat and took it out on her. Possibly. All right, let's see what Donald Trump has to say about all this.
Being killed every single month.
On Minnesota, the vice president yesterday suggested that Renee Good, who was killed by this ICE officer, was part of a broad left-wing network. What has your team told you about this broad left-wing network?
Who alleged that? I missed that.
Yesterday suggested that Renee Good. And on Minnesota, the vice president yesterday suggested.
Oh, okay. J.D. Vance said that. Of course he did.
Renee Good, who was killed by this ICE officer, was part of a broad left-wing.
But even if that's true, let's say that that's true and she's part of like this nefarious Antifa group who's like terrorists. The officer, first of all, didn't know that. At best, he could have suspected it. Okay? He does not have the jurisdiction to be the judge, jury, he's not the judge, jury, and executioner in that circumstance. He doesn't just get to kill her. All right? So even assuming that's the case, he still doesn't get to kill her.
Network. What has your team told you about this broad left-wing network? Who is in charge of it? Who's part of it?
Yes, please.
What's it called?
Well, I haven't seen the vice president's statement, but he's generally very accurate. I hate to say, I watched
Oh, there he
that
is.
yesterday, and there are a lot.
It looks like his collar is like choking him such that like it's kind of like you know how like you like squeeze a balloon and then like the head kind of gets, you know, or not the head, the top of it gets like inflated more. That's kind of what it looks like with his suit.
A lot of different forms to it. But there was a woman screaming, shame, 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 shame. She was
Oh no,
agitator,
we have to shoot them.
probably a paid agitator, but in my opinion, she was an agitator.
Oh, he's literally just doing like Alex Jones shit. Oh, she was a paid agitator. She was a paid agitator, brother.
A very high-level agitator, so professional.
Phoenix.
She wouldn't
Well, I have a lot
stop
of people.
screaming. I said, this isn't a normal situation. This is a professional.
Asmongold's take on this was horrendous, but dog, didn't you know she was gay? That means Jesse Waters has the right to say she deserved it. I should watch Asmongold's take on it. I don't know if I'll include that in this segment. We'll see how long this goes.
Troublemaker, because you heard it and I had it. Now, I will
I feel like Asmongold's statement deserves its own segment. We'll do that real quick after this.
say this. The news sort of turned her down, turned her off, because you're trying to watch. She was so loud and so crazy.
Oh, she was
and
loud.
Just not normal.
Unlike the gun, which was very quiet.
When somebody sees something like that, they don't go screaming and the same words. So, I guess you could say professional, but I didn't think she did a very good job. You have agitators, and we will.
I love it because he's like, gee, for a trained professional in a leftist organization, she really did a shitty job. Man, Occam's razor might suggest that maybe there's something else going on here.
Always be protecting ICE, and we're always going to be protecting our Border Patrol and our law enforcement. Yeah.
Protecting Border Patrol and law enforcement, I thought they were supposed to protect us. I thought that was their job.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in your conversations with these oil
Why do they need
executives
protection?
today, did you provide any security guarantees so that they can do their work safely in Venezuela?
Oh, my God.
And separately, Mr. President,
They will have those guarantees, yes.
Cool. Good to know. What do we got next? Organizer outlines motivate. Okay, so yeah, a lot of protests broke out in regards to this. Just saw your wife killed in broad daylight. Nobody would scream like that. What a crazy statement. Yeah, no shit. Dog, if ICE... Okay, gonna be real. If ICE killed my wife in broad daylight when all she was trying to do was drive away... You can't arrest me for thoughts.
On all of this, I'm joined by Lisa Gilbert. She's the co-president of the organization Public Citizen.
You can't arrest me for having
which is organizing protests around the country this weekend. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us here on ABC News Live. What message do you want the world to hear today?
We are expecting peaceful vigils around the country this weekend at over 1,000 locations. And I want people to know
Horrendous
that this came together in just 2 days.
This woman has not updated her laptop since 2009. Good gravy.
As a response to the atrocity that we've all witnessed in Minnesota, and just really demonstrates the magnitude of the outrage. It's an issue that impacts all Americans. No one in America should walk the streets in fear of being disappeared by masked agents, shot
Agreed.
for lawful protesting, or just facing intimidation and danger for simply being a good neighbor.
What is it, Lisa, about the killing of Renee Good?
You know, also, like, I also want to say, like, this is Trump's America right here. You can say all you want about, like, oh, that's Biden's America, This is Trump's America. Protests in the streets, you want to call them riots, sure. But, like, here it is. Like, oh, after a year, okay? And this is his second term, mind you. So technically this is year 5. Granted, Biden came in, I guess, and if you want to argue he screwed everything up, whatever. But, like, after 25% of your presidency, if shit like this is happening... And not getting better, mind you. This is your legacy. This is what you're leaving behind for the history books.
What is it, Lisa, about the killing of Renee Good? And it's so tragic on so many levels. What is it in this killing in particular that sparked such a wide-scale response?
I think it is the broader pattern that people have been witnessing of ICE violence. They've been escalating, cruel deployments into our communities. This killing isn't an isolated incident. It's a devastating and frankly predictable result of ICE's lawless operations and honestly President Trump's abuse of power. And I think people are reacting to that. It's striking a chord, and we are responding with peaceful vigils to show we will not let this stand.
I want to get your take on this because Vice President J.D. Vance has said that Renee Good's death was a tragedy of her own making. Here's what he said this week.
I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making and a tragedy of the far left who has marshaled an entire movement, a lunatic fringe against our law enforcement officers.
Wait. Hold up.
That her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making and a tragedy.
Oh, but we say that about Charlie Kirk and it's lights off up here, right? Everything goes blank when I say Charlie Kirk's death was a tragedy of his own making. Oh, if God forbid. But like this random woman that nobody gives a fuck about. Oh, well, fuck her, She was probably, it was of her own making, of course. She didn't comply.
Tragedy of the far left who has marshaled an entire movement, a lunatic fringe against our law enforcement.
It's always projection. I'm losing my mind. This is exactly what we've been saying about conservatives. They're just stealing our playbook and throwing it back at us and reversing it and saying, no, you. This is actually what you're doing when you really think about it. Good stuff. Great stuff.
So, Lisa, what do you say to Vice President Vance?
I know I've said this before, but I shouldn't say I've met her. J.D. Vance's mom has visited one of the facilities that I used to work in. And there are some days, I'm glad that I never actually said anything to her, but there are some days where, I think about the fact that I could very easily, go up to her and say some things.
And others on the right who are saying that Good's death is the result, in part, of anti-law enforcement sentiments being stoked by the left.
Like why she picked drugs over her own son.
I would say that's simply not the case. I think this action that is happening this weekend is simply to demand accountability for something that we have all witnessed on video with our own eyes, to honor life that's been lost and make visible the really human.
It's just crazy because even from a white nationalist perspective, That's a white woman, right? Like, I'm profiling her. I don't know where she's from, but that's a white woman with kids. She's a mother. That's a big no-no. That is such a big no-no. Like if white supremacists had any balls, they'd be fuming over this. This is not good.
Cost of
Even for
ISIS
them.
extreme actions, which we've been witnessing across the country.
This is why I say, by the way, white supremacists don't like white people. They just hate white people less than they hate everybody else.
Have seen their neighbors taken. We have seen businesses suffer. We have seen human toll. And so the reaction is simply that. This is America.
She was a lesbian.
We have
Never mind
rights,
then.
free speech, and we are exercising them with our events. ICE out for good.
And again, as you emphasize, that
there are no rights anymore. You can just be shot down. You can just be shot down by a guy wearing the ICE uniform, and nobody will get in trouble for it. All right, I wanted to do one more thing just for funsies before we end this segment. Laura Ingraham decided to go on the ground and talk to some of these protesters, and I personally value everything that she has to say. So let's take a look.
Nothing like being on the ground, talking to people, to try to get a clearer picture of the story, which is what we did today in Minneapolis.
Okay, wait, that's good. Wait, I can't play that. Dubsy, mute that. Can I play any of this? Here, we'll just read what she says. I'll do my best Laura Ingraham. But they're gonna have fires, food, water, a lot of people in masks. People are coming out and expressing themselves. It kind of takes on almost a community civic event. I won't say celebration, but it's a gathering.
It's pretty peaceful, and it really was. I mean, in that vigil, it was basically people, they had a fire, they were giving out food, water. And
okay, get to the good stuff.
Why are you wearing a mask? Why are you wearing a mask?
Because my nose is cold. Why do you care if I'm wearing a mask?
I'm just curious. Just a
Fuck, you mean what? Because I have the right to wear a mask as a American. What are you talking about? Masks are off limits for everybody now because the left said that ICE can't wear masks. Oh, you think that ICE can't wear a mask? Why are you wearing a mask? What are you talking about? We're not agents of the government. What do you mean?
question.
That's a crazy thing to say.
This is the crowd, and they apparently are policing their borders. So they're policing their borders here, which is fascinating.
Shame! Shame!
Oh, brother, it's so boring.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now.
Well, and as we were leaving in our vehicle, they did what they can do. They gave us all the finger. I think they secretly liked us, though. But a few observations here. So the protests are always smaller than they look on TV. Many of the folks there seem like they do
Wait, that's it? That's all the on-the-ground coverage we get from Laura Ingraham? That's so funny. You made an entire trip out there, and that's all you got. Okay, dude.
Recreation, and there are others that are truly mourning and really upset. And others seem to be people who just don't believe the United States should have any borders.
Yeah, Antifa, yeah.
But again, they sure do
Antifa
aggressively police their own borders. And while, again, there were plenty of people there.
Wait, did she see that? Wait, hold on. What do you mean aggressively police their own borders? Like in the protests? What do you mean borders? Like sovereign, like you think there's a new sovereign nation every time a protest? No, I hate these people
protesting.
So much. I don't actually hate them. I just am more disappointed by their existence. I think that they could be so much more than they are.
There who seem
it's
like
a waste of
lifelong
neurons.
members of the agitator industrial complex. You heard that one woman, unclear whether she was joking or not, saying she was paid for being there. Interesting. So even if they're not throwing stuff or physically blocking ICE, disrespecting law enforcement, a lot of them just seem perpetually pissed off. Well, and I wonder why. As we see with what's happening, is more horrible news out of Portland tonight. Rage
Who's to
is
say
being
why?
stoked. And
it's not like, who died? Am I right, guys? Who died?
It's mostly
Good
being
Lord.
stoked by a party with no solutions.
They wanted a moment like this, and look.
Okay, that's enough, Laura Ingraham. Before we end, or just real quick, I did also want to point out this was not the only shooting that took place. They also shot 2 people in Portland.
we have been seeing while we're out here. But again, we are still waiting on more information. Traffic is slow moving in all directions besides the closed
So this
lane.
is not
But
isolated.
again, neighbors here are urged to use caution in the area. So we will be sticking out here, of course, getting more information. Most of the neighbors are on the other side of where this is all blocked off, but this gives us a big view of what's going on here. Now, again, Deb, I will let you guys know that we still, again, do not have much information at this time. The FBI are investigating and will be sure to.
Okay, so yeah, we don't know much about that one yet, but it did happen, and we're going to continue getting updates on it. I guess last thing, just to end on like a relatively positive note. There are a lot of like animal costumes, I guess, in the Fuck Ice protests, which is very funny to me, the inflatable animal costumes. As I was saying before the segment started, this is very funny to me because what this does is it removes the oomph from like the fear factor, you know, because like they're going to be written like if the most popular pictures in the history books are of ICE agents beating the piss out of people in inflatable animal costumes, you can't take that seriously. So this is a huge middle finger to like the fascist regime right here. It just makes what they're doing look that much more ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, it's not looking good, folks. If ICE is in your neighbor, I guess to end this on the most positive note that I can, or I guess not positive, but constructive. If ICE is in your neighborhood, please be safe. Be safe. Follow your gut and do what it takes to keep yourself alive, because the least useful, like once you're dead, you're no longer of any use. You know what I mean? Like you can't do anything beyond being a martyr. Okay? So like don't get yourself hurt. Don't get yourself shot. If you see ICE agents, let me put it this way, before you see ICE agents, organize and learn who your neighbors are, which I should do also, okay? Learn who your neighbors are, learn who will be there for you when ICE agents come knocking at your door. And if they do come knocking at your door, don't answer any questions. Don't answer any questions unless they have you at gunpoint and force the answers out of you, okay? Which apparently they can do now. They can just do that. So, you know, like, don't answer any of their questions. Invoke your rights up until they decide they're going to take them away right then and there, and then preserve yourself and do what it takes to stay alive and stay safe. That's the best I can give you. This will end as all things do. We're just, you know, it's scary. It's really scary times because this could happen to any one of us, you know? You just don't know. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.